Habitat ReStore is a social enterprise retailer that accepts and resells quality new and used furniture, appliances, decor, and home improvement building materials, with all profits funding Habitat for Humanity home building projects. Hello! Thank you for joining Habitat for Humanity and contributing to our mission to help families build strength, stability, and independence through affordable housing. At Habitat for Humanity, safety is one of our core values, and we always want you to feel safe and comfortable while working in our Habitat ReStores. In this video, we will review the key safety measures necessary to keep you safe. When it comes to safety measures, what you wear is a key component. We require that all employees and volunteers wear long pants to minimize skin surface injuries. On a similar note, t-shirts are okay, but sleeveless shirts or tank tops should not be worn. Dress with comfort in mind, but do not wear loose or baggy clothing, as they can easily get caught on different materials and create an unsafe situation. Personal protective equipment, or PPE, is required when working at our Habitat ReStores. This includes wearing CSA-approved steel-toed footwear at all times. Also, in specific situations, you may be required to wear gloves, safety glasses, and safety vests. CSA-approved steel-toed footwear is essential to protect your feet from heavy falling objects and to prevent sharp materials from piercing your feet. Moreover, you can best protect yourself from slips, trips, and falls by wearing well-fitting safety footwear. Some ReStores may have footwear you can borrow, but be sure to check before starting your shift. CSA-approved safety footwear is denoted by a green triangle and comes in various styles. Throughout your day, you may be involved in various tasks, including lifting objects of different sizes. Did you know most injuries at the ReStore are caused by materials handling, but you can take steps to prevent them, including safe lifting and wearing the proper PPE. Wearing gloves when carrying materials will prevent cuts, blisters, and other skin injuries. Another safety measure is protective eyewear. When working with power tools, safety glasses and/or goggles are required to protect your eyes from flying debris such as sawdust, metal chips, or concrete. If you will be operating a power tool or working in the vicinity of one, please ensure that you are always wearing eye protection. All ReStores provide safety eyewear for staff and volunteer use. Eye protection must be CSA or ANSI approved. Look for either a Z87 or Z94.3 stamp to ensure they meet the required safety standards. It is important to note that prescription glasses do not provide adequate protection from flying debris. You will either need to wear additional eye protection over the glasses themselves or obtain prescription safety eyewear. There is often a lot of activity happening behind the scenes at Habitat ReStores, with heavy machinery often in operation. High visibility safety apparel, such as safety vests, will allow you to be seen from a distance. This allows forklift and truck drivers to respond accordingly and increases your safety at work. High visibility safety vests are required to be worn at all times at the back of the ReStore and near the loading dock. If you lack access to any of the required PPE, please speak to your supervisor. The most important thing is that safety always comes first. Never engage in any activity that you feel is unsafe. If you are ever asked to do something that you feel is unsafe, stop and ask for assistance from your supervisor. At the Habitat ReStore, there are many different types of hazards that you may face while on the job. Let's talk about some of these hazards and how to safely control and mitigate them. Good housekeeping is essential to your own safety, as well as the safety of your fellow team members and customers. Slips, trips, and falls are a common hazard that can result from a cluttered work environment. A cluttered environment could look like disorganized merchandise, loose extension cords, spills and other environmental hazards, tripping hazards with open bed frames, and heavy items falling off racks. It's important that you and your peers are always scanning the work environment for signs of clutter. Remember to arrange for a cleanup as soon as possible. You might find yourself with the opportunity to operate various tools for different tasks at the Habitat ReStore. Extreme care must be taken when using them, as serious injuries can easily occur if you are not familiar with safe work procedures. Before you use any type of tool, such as power tools or X-Acto knives, make sure that you ask for training from your supervisor. Understand all of the safety procedures involved, including how to handle the tool safely and what personal protective equipment you should be wearing. Many different types of items enter and leave the Habitat ReStore, including used building materials, appliances, furniture, and other home accessories. Unsafe lifting practices can lead to long-term injuries to your body, often resulting in chronic back pain, knee pain, and more. Ask your supervisor to train you on how to lift an item, and don't be afraid to do some practice beforehand. Remember that this is not a competition to see who can lift the most by themselves. When lifting any item, keep the following safety and ergonomic practices in mind. Check for a clear path before starting a lift. Keep the load as close to the body as possible. Keep the natural curves in your back. Ensure a stable base of support. Bend in your knees. Amount will vary depending on lift. Keep your shoulders back. Stick your buttocks out. Co-contract your stomach and back muscles. Get a good grasp. Use thigh and buttock muscles versus back muscles. Remember to breathe. Relax. You might encounter situations where an item cannot be lifted alone and you require extra help. Keep the following in mind when lifting as a team. Check for a clear walking path before starting. Select team members of similar height and strength. Assign a leader to the team. Determine a set of commands to be used, such as lift, walk, stop, down. Make sure that everyone knows what to do when they hear the command. Follow the commands given by the team leader. Practice team lifting and carrying together before attempting the task. Overall, eye contact and good communication is key to successful team lifting. We cannot emphasize enough the importance of safe lifting practices. It's not a competition. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Ask your supervisor for training on basic lifting techniques. Habitat ReStores receive many heavy and awkwardly shaped items. Take the time to plan and practice your technique before lifting any new item you've never lifted before. Depending on the Habitat ReStore you are working at, some may have devices to assist with materials handling. Remember to ask your supervisor for training before using any of these devices. The loading dock can be one of the busiest places at a ReStore. It is located at the back of the building with vehicles and equipment moving both inside and outside the facility. Although most docks are laid out and equipped to move donations safely and efficiently, they are also a place where a misstep or inattentive moment can result in injury. Always watch for hazards, even if you are not involved in the loading or unloading process. All vehicles should have a spotter when backing into the loading dock. When working on and around loading docks, be sure to follow these best practices and procedures. Always wear a high visibility vest so you can be seen from a distance by heavy machine operators. Only use equipment that you are authorized and trained to operate. Know and follow the instructions in the manufacturer's manual and never exceed the recommended load rating. Keep out of the way of moving equipment. Don't get trapped into an injury. Stay alert when you are working around trucks, docks, and any cargo operations. Watch out for other workers and vehicles, especially near doorways and at the ends of aisles. Step ladders are a common item that you may use at the Habitat ReStore. To prevent serious injury, here are some ladder safety tips to keep in mind. Inspect the ladder before using it. Look for signs of visible damage and alert your supervisor if any part of it is in poor condition. Check the load rating marked on the stepladder. It should cover your weight and the weight of any tools being used. Open the stepladder spreaders and shelf fully and lock the braces. Check for stability. Ensure that all of the feet are situated on a firm, level, and non-slippery surface. Face the stepladder when climbing up or down. Keep your body centered between the side rails. The ladder can become unstable if your body or equipment you are holding move beyond the side rails. Work at an appropriate height for the ladder. It should be about 1 meter or 3 feet shorter than the highest point you have to reach. This provides a wider, more stable base and places the shelf at a convenient working height. Never stand on the top 2 rungs of a stepladder, as it becomes difficult to maintain your balance. Keep a firm grip. Use both hands when climbing and follow the 3 points of contact rule. 2 hands and 1 foot, or 2 feet and 1 hand on the ladder at all times when climbing. Keep both feet on the ladder. Do not stand on a ladder and another object at the same time. For example, 1 foot on the ladder and 1 foot on another object. Only take small items up or down a ladder. Always consider the load limits of the ladder in use. Carrying anything larger or heavier than what the ladder can take will make it unstable. The person on the ladder will be unable to maintain a 3 point of contact, resulting in a fall and injury. Interacting with ReStore customers is a highlight for many staff and volunteers. Treating everybody with respect, greeting them with a smile, and asking how you can help are some great ways to provide a positive customer experience. Although most interactions are pleasant, you may run into the occasional conflict. When dealing with challenging situations, stay calm. Remember that a customer's behavior is not a reflection on you. Avoid judgment and do your best to maintain a positive and compassionate tone. Ask questions to learn more about their needs and how you can help. Maintain neutral body language. Do your best to present an unemotional stance. Avoid clenching your fists, crossing your arms, and pointing at the customer. Remember that it is not your responsibility to deal with customer conflicts. If you ever feel threatened, unsafe, or face a situation you cannot handle, inform your supervisor right away. There are many chemicals in the Habitat ReStore that you may use to paint or clean. Many of these may be toxic and can lead to sickness. Remember, every chemical should have an associated safety data sheet that outlines how to correctly handle the chemical. This includes procedures to be followed and specific personal protective equipment to be worn. If you cannot find a safety data sheet for a chemical you will be using, ask your supervisor to provide training on correct use of the product. Not all donations can be accepted, as they may pose health and safety risks. Additionally, it is important to be aware of items that may be illegal to resell or may pose a risk to Habitat's reputation. Keep an eye out for and notify your supervisor immediately about any items you are unsure of. Though emergency situations are rare at Habitat ReStores, they can happen. So it is important to understand what to do and how to act if an emergency arises. Emergencies can occur for a variety of reasons, such as a fire or an injury in the workplace. Every Habitat ReStore has an emergency action plan. Ask your supervisor to share it with you. Taking the time to review and understand the plan will ensure you are prepared in the face of an emergency. Know the location of the first aid station and the name of the designated first aid attendant on shift, so that you can quickly alert them of any injuries that happen to you or your peers. Make sure to listen to your body, take breaks when needed, and stay hydrated. Safety is a core value at Habitat for Humanity. If you see an unsafe situation, point it out to your supervisor. These are key learning opportunities, also known as near misses, that will be documented and corrected as soon as possible. If you are not sure about how to do something, just ask. If you ever feel uncomfortable with how things are being done, let your supervisor know. Thank you so much for your attention and for being a part of the Habitat for Humanity family. Maintaining a safe environment in Habitat ReStores at all times ensures that we can continue helping local families in need of affordable housing to build strength, stability, and independence.